Good morning, Breakfast Clubbers. I'm here in Accrington this morning and I'm taking a look at this place just behind me. It's Café Ri. I've seen some good pictures on Facebook and I've heard good things about their breakfast. So we're going to check it out. Let's go. Good morning. Yes, today I'm in Accrington, in Lancashire. It's that small town made famous by that milk advert from the 80s. Yes, you know the one. And I'm here to check out the full English breakfast at this popular town centre spot, Café Ri. There are 3 full English options on the menu today: small, medium and large. There's also a full Scottish and even the option to have your large breakfast served inside a giant Yorkshire pudding. I've gone for the large full English, which comes with 2 butcher's sausages, 2 bacon, 1 fried egg, 1 hash brown, black pudding, fried bread, beans, chopped tomatoes and 2 slices of toast. There's also a long list of extras available too, including some select Scottish items. I've added mushrooms, surprisingly missing as a standard, for £1 extra, plus spam for £1.50 and haggis for £2. Drinks are extra, and as usual, it's a mug of tea for me, priced at £2.20. And it's just after opening time, and thankfully I've got a reserved table because this small cafe is already bustling. But despite that, it's only a short wait for my breakfast to arrive, so it's time to tuck in.
Have a big breakfast. I'll just give you a
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, that's great.
Can I get you anything else?
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. And what we have here is a clean white plate, no juices drifting around or contaminating everything else, because all the watery running items are neatly contained in these 3 ramekins. Now, shortly after finishing this breakfast, I did post a picture on a couple of social media groups, and the overwhelming takeaway from that was that it really upset quite a few members of the Anti-Ramekin Standards Establishment, or ARSE for short. If you're not familiar with their work, they recently published a 47-page white paper titled Acceptable Vessels for Condiments in Morning Meals. And if you do happen to get hold of a copy for yourself, it's a truly riveting read. But honestly, I've got no issue with the ramekins here, even if there might be a slight overuse. It's clean, it's clinical, and it's executed well. Score 8 out of 10. Right then, let's crack open the first of our ramekin residents, the tomatoes. And honestly, I'm grateful they're in one, because these are extremely watery, and the last thing I want is tomato tide creeping across the rest of my breakfast. Containment is key. The tomatoes themselves are piping hot, there's a decent amount of flesh, and the flavour is richer than expected, with a mild sweet finish. For Tin Toms, they're actually fairly enjoyable, and do their job without causing chaos on the plate. Score 7 out of 10. Next up, another inmate in the ramekin wing. It's the mushrooms. And these have been squeezed into the ramekin with roughly a dozen small to medium whole mushrooms packed in there. And again, I'm actually thankful for the separation, because these are just as watery as the tomatoes, and would have gone wandering across the plate if let loose. They've held on to plenty of heat, and keeping them whole definitely helps with the texture, as there's still plenty of bite to them. Flavour-wise, nothing out of the ordinary. Decent mushrooms that could do with a touch of seasoning to lift them. Would I pay the extra £1 to add them again? Probably not. Score 6 out of 10. And now, the final ramekin before we start releasing things back into the wild. Yes, it's the beans. We've got a fairly generous portion here, they're piping hot, and they taste great. On tasting, I'm getting an unexpected faint barbecue flavour coming through, which threw me a little here. I did ask about the brand later on, but nothing specific was shared that would explain it. Overall though, these are very nice beans, and the remainder are going to go down beautifully with that fried bread in a few moments. Score 8 out of 10. Let's move on to the fried egg. Just a single fried egg today, and once again, it's been cooked really nicely. No crispy bottoms or ragged edges, and the whites sit high and tight, which usually suggests a good fresh egg. It's cooked through properly with no sliminess, and the yolk has been generously basted over to give it that glossy finish. Cutting in releases that hot, runny, golden goodness, exactly what you want from a fried egg. And there's only one thing to do at this point: let the dipping commence. And it's the kind of yolk that instantly upgrades anything it touches, adding richness to every bite it mingles with. Score 9 out of 10. And while we're on the subject of things perfect for dipping, let's have a look at the toast. We've got 2 slices of medium thick to white toast. It's been lightly toasted exactly how I like it, and absolutely plastered in butter, making it soft, rich, and properly Moorish. It has cooled down a fair bit, but that's on me rather than the cafe. Even so, it still does its job brilliantly, especially when it comes to dipping and soaking up the leftover bean and tomato juices later on. Score 8 out of 10. So if the toast is a warm packed, the fried bread is the main event. Our fried bread today is a thick slice, though we're inexplicably missing about a third of it. Perhaps it's an attempt at adding a bit of artisanal flair to the presentation, but what we do have though is excellent, hot, moist on the inside and perfectly crunchy around those crust edges. It's the kind of fried bread that feels purpose-built for beans, and once those remaining beans hit it, everything comes together really nicely. That combination gives you that classic comforting full English moment where the textures and flavours click into place. And it's easily one of the most satisfying bites on the plate. Score 9 out of 10. Right, beans released, fried bread conquered. Let's move on to the meats. We've got 2 nicely cooked rashers of bacon here. They're both a good thickness with some lovely fatty edges, and there's an excellent pink tone running through the moist meaty loins. Flavour wise, they deliver a solid salty hit with those caps giving an extra boost. A touch more crisp on the fat and those caps, and these would have been absolutely perfect for me. But as they are, they're still very enjoyable. Score 8 out of 10. From bacon to a trusty sidekick, it's the hash brown. With just a single hash brown on the plate today, but it's a good one. It has an attractive light golden colour, a thin crispy exterior, and a piping hot, fluffy shredded potato filling. Taste wise, there's a gentle salty seasoning that works nicely with that familiar starchy comfort. It's simple, but very well executed, and absolutely enjoyable from the first bite to last. Score 8 out of 10. Now for something a little more nostalgic. It's the Spam. There are 2 slices of Spam on the plate here, both shiny and glistening from a light fry. The thickness on these slices is immense. I'd guess we're looking at almost a quarter of a standard retail tin between them. And cutting in reveals an extremely juicy, meaty interior, and biting in, you get that succulent texture, along with that unmistakable spiced pork and ham flavour that proper Spam lovers know well. It's bold, it's nostalgic, and it absolutely delivers. Score 10 out of 10. And now, onto the heavy hitters. It's the sausages. We've got 2 thick pork butcher's links here, both cooked well with an attractive colouring and a lovely shine on the skins. Cutting in, the casing is perfectly soft and gives way to an extremely moist meaty filling. When pressed, the juices flow beautifully and the meat practically melts in the mouth. Flavour wise, you get a mild pork taste that's thoroughly delightful and balanced from start to finish. These are some excellent sausages. Score 10 out of 10. Let's move over to the black pudding now. And we've got a thicker than usual piece of black pudding here on the plate today, carrying the expected dark rich colouring on the outside. It's a little drier than usual, especially when cutting in, but you can still clearly see that familiar mix of pork fat, oats and barley in the mild, sticky, crumbly interior. Flavour wise, it delivers that warm, satisfying savouriness you want. And it pairs especially well, getting a welcome bit of extra moisture when you drag it through some of the leftover tomato juice from the ramekin. It's a solid slice overall, just held back slightly by that dryness. Score 7 out of 10. And finally, let's finish up with a Scottish superstar. It's the haggis. There's a really big, thick portion of haggis on the plate then, visibly crumbly with that rustic homemade look. Cutting in, it practically collapses to reveal a plentiful oatmeal-rich interior. Flavour-wise, there's nothing quite like it. It falls apart on the tongue, releasing that excellent peppery warmth with a gentle, mild spice running through it. It's a deeply comforting finish to the breakfast, and at £2 extra to add it to the plate, I've got absolutely no regrets whatsoever. Score 10 out of 10. With everything tasted now, let's talk value for money. Looking at this from the perspective of the base breakfast and price only, £9 is a great price for a selection of your standard items, especially considering the overall quality and location. Yes, it's a small town centre cafe from the outside, but inside it's so much more, giving off that gourmet cafe vibe. Now when weighing in the extra costs for those 3 items I've chosen to add on, the extra £4.50 brings us up to £13.50 in total, which puts us on par with other similar cafes where I've had a proper filling and an enjoyable breakfast experience. Score 7 out of 10. It's time now for the overall points tally, and after chucking those scores into our number cruncher, Café Ri comes out with a total of 115 points out of a maximum of 140. And converting that into percentage, today's final Breakfast Club score is 82.1%, putting them just inside of our great rating bracket. Looking at Leaderboard now, and although that's a standout score today, it unfortunately falls just short of making it into our top 10. Still, a fantastic effort though. Café Ri has really impressed me today, from the quality of the core items to the generous portions and the option to add some proper Scottish favourites. This is a cafe that clearly takes pride in what it serves, the atmosphere is warm, the service is quick, and the food delivers where it matters. So if you're ever in Accrington, this place is well worth a visit. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what we're doing, the best way to support us is to like, share and subscribe. It's free to do and really helps the channel grow. And as always, may your bacon be sizzling, your fried bread golden, and your yolks runny. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out one of our other reviews showing on screen right now. So that was my breakfast here at Café Ri this morning. What did you think of that one? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.